Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Sipping Wealth Live, where I bring you news, tips, and tricks on how to wealth up. Hey, y'all. So, today I am going live on whether or not you should be trusting the tax advice from, online, what you see on social media, and what are some things that you should be on the lookout for and things that you should keep in mind. But for those of you that are tuned in with me, thank you. And be sure to hit the subscribe button on the YouTube channel Sipping Wealth, along with sharing it with your friends, colleagues, family, loved ones, the whole shebang. Those that you really want to help on this wealth journey, help wealth up. So we want to make sure that we are sharing this amazing information and not just keeping the information to ourselves. All right. I am back every Tuesday where I bring you news, tips, and tricks, y'all. So I'm going to go ahead and get started on the topic. As usual, go ahead and drop a comment in the comment section. Any questions that you may have, even if it's, hey girl, what's up? Letting me know that you are watching later on or currently tuned in with me. Whether, depending on what it is, go ahead and hit drop a comment in the comment section so I know who's tuned in with me, y'all. All right, so let me go ahead and hop right in. Like I said, get into this topic. All right, y'all. Okay. All right. So, first things first that you want to make sure that you keep in mind is when there is so much information on social media, on the internet, things like that. So, I do these lives so I can make sure that you have some base of information, and then you can do with that as you choose. Take that and do additional research. I highly recommend take that to your professional, any professionals that you're working with, things like that. So make sure that, hey, when you are, as you tuning into these lives, as you're learning or taking in information offline, that you are doing some kind of research and fact checking on your own as well. But one of the main things you want to check when you're, pulling these sources from these individuals that are giving these tax advice, you want to check their credentials. That is heavy. Check their credentials, especially as we prepare for tax season. There's going to be a lot of individuals, putting out tax information, just putting out information out here, whether it's to gain additional clientele, or just to put information out there for the purpose of just putting information out, mainly to gain clientele, right? So I highly recommend just making sure that you are checking their credentials prior to receiving or taking their information, because trusting non-experts can lead to being misinformed. All right, so you want to make sure, hey, this person has like a certain credentials, like a CPA, an EA. They can be a tax attorney, things like that. So when you know that they're credentialed, you're more likely to receive, information that is more credible. All right, because they have a board that they have to essentially uphold to. All right, so their license is on the line. So you want to basically make sure that you are looking at their credentials. The other thing is verify their experience. So you want to look at the person's track record. How long have they been in the game? How long have they been doing tax preparation, accounting, financial services? What is their experience like? How long have you been seeing them, push out and information like this? You want to make sure that, like I said, this person didn't just pop out of the blue just because tax season is rolling around and I'm here to provide you misinformation. So you do want to make sure that, hey, when you are watching the person gaining insight from these people, that you are fact checking, looking at verify their experience level. All right, and generally the IRS database do have, you can look on the IRS database to see the enrolled agent list. So if somebody claims to be an enrolled agent, you can go ahead and fact check on the IRS website as well. Um, the next is to look for disclaimers. So reliable sources tend to like add in disclaimers, or they tend to give general advice. So even when I'm speaking, so a lot of the topics, well, all the topics that I cover, I speak in more of a general term, now in the general sense. Not everything is going to apply to you, or your scenario, or your friend's scenario, whatever the case may be. So you want to make sure that, hey, you're not taking it word for word. Hey, this is exactly what I need to do, whatever the case may be. This is just giving you an idea of things you need to keep in mind. All right. So look for disclaimers. A lack of disclaimers can, indicate like an oversimplification of like complex tax issues. So tax issues can be very complex. When they say, hey, pay your child from your business, it is very easy to pay your child from your business. You just have to do these three things. It is not that cut and dry. So you do want to make sure that you are more well informed. So they do tend to give more broad general sense of what the tax code is. So you do want to make sure that you're on alert with that. All right. Seek practical examples from trustworthy sources. So, generally, they give maybe like a tax concept from like a weird real world example, to help their followers more understand the information that's going to be discussed, the strategy. So generally, I'll say, hey, or another person may say, hey, let's take Susan, for example. Susan does this, that, and the third, and she's looking for this. So we may use Susan to give an example of a tax strategy, but that doesn't mean, hey, you are Susan and you could take it and run from there. Everyone's tax situation is different. It is not a one size fits all. So when you are looking at this information, you want to make sure that you are looking at it from a stance of, hey, all this information might not apply to me, but it's giving me a base knowledge so that I can go ask my professional for more information, for more detail, for more insight on whether or not this applies to me and how I can best utilize a strategy like this. All right. So the other is, high risk advice, questioning high risk advice. So, advice that says like hacking, or hacking the system, or pay no taxes, or, this is how you pay zero taxes. This is how, things like that, can be very risky and unreliable. So really watch, that when information comes out like that, it could be very like, what's going on here. All right, so make sure you stay on your p's and q's when it comes to that. Let me make sure I'm not missing anything. Okay, so I want to make sure. All right. The other thing is, examine the content's consistency, whether or not, hey, this is, something completely new from what, the other professionals are giving out, or even look at the trends of their advice and things like that. So, and that, even though it's like trending or viral, doesn't necessarily mean that it's accurate or that it applies to your situation, even though it may go viral. It could just be something that's very catchy. But hey, that's not something that you just jump out and go ahead and be like, oh yeah, I'm ready to apply this method because this is going to help me pay $0 in taxes. So that's just not how it works. So you want to make sure that you examine that. That's like their assess the professional that's going over this information overall. All right. Check the platform, the credibility of the platform. Like platforms like LinkedIn tend to be more reliable than, for example, like like TikTok or Instagram or something like that. So you're more likely to find something more reliable and accurate or more trustworthy, or from a more trustworthy source on LinkedIn versus a TikTok or general social media platform like that, or Facebook. All right, so check the platforms that you are receiving this information from. I know, as you're scrolling or engaging on TikToks and Facebook and things like that, it's easy to see information like this. But you want to also look at sources like LinkedIn, because they tend to have more reliable information, especially when it comes to, financial insight and taxes. All right. Make sure that you are researching the person's background. Okay. I know I kind of touched on, look into their licensure, look into their credentials, but you want to make sure that you know the person's background, the history of their educational content. I do these speaking, lives and speaking engagements and sipping wealth and things like that. Because I do want to make sure that I'm giving out valuable information to you all, and information that I believe that you need to be privy to. So, just go ahead and look into, research the background of the individual. All right. And the other thing is to make sure that you check for updated information. Tax laws change so frequently. All right. So make sure that you are looking at a credible source. Maybe a video that I posted a year ago is not accurate, completely accurate today because the tax laws have changed. But, so you want to make sure that ideally, the information is current, especially when it comes to taxes, because things do change. And things are looking to change some more because we are getting into election. So as we tend to welcome a new president, tend to go, we tend to overgo tax changes. Hey, Eni, what's up? What up? What up? Ready for our live? Trust your gut. Make sure that you are, if you feel a little like, oh, this is just it's giving quick fix solution, maybe you want to look into it a little more, because if you feel like it's giving quick fix solution that is just like an email, then 9 out of 10, that's exactly what it is. Tax code and tax law is not cut and dry. It's not simple at all. I'm telling you, these strategies, even though that you may see them, you may see the videos, whatever the case may be, it is not cut and dry. Like, oh, I'm ready to pay my child tomorrow. Oh, I'm ready to put myself on payroll. Oh, I'm ready to, pay $0 in taxes. Like these things, these buzzwords, these viral videos, it's not cut and dry. It's not quick fix. There are a lot of things that go into play when it comes to building out a strategy for individual, and there's ongoing things. If a corporation have departments dedicated to taxes, you could only imagine how complex this thing could get. So for somebody to hop on and say, oh yeah, you can apply this strategy and pay $0 in taxes, let's be for real. All right. So we want to make sure that, you trust our gut. We, keep our heads on the swivel, and we be mindful of, the buzzwords, the quick clicks, the things that go viral, and understand that, hey, there is no quick fix solution, especially when it comes to taxation. There isn't. But what there are lots of strategies that can be deployed that can help with your tax situation that may go overlooked. And a lot of times a lot of times you have to actually put in place certain things, parameters within your organization, within your financial house, in order to take advantage of these tax strategies. All right. So, it's not a quick fix. It's not a quick pill. It's not a, like, ooh, easy fix. All right. And ultimately, make sure that you are consulting a professional. All right, I have clients that send me information. They see a video get posted, and they're like, "Hey, I saw this. Is this true?" And they send it to me, and I'm like, I mean, the concept of it is true, but it's not as clean and cut as they put it in the video. All right. So you do want to make sure, regardless of the information that you are receiving online, that you are always following up with a qualified tax advisor, all right, that understands your situation. One thing I tell my clients, stop holding back on information, because I can't help you to the best of my um ability if you're holding back information. If you're saying, if next thing I know, you got a rental property in Utah and you didn't even tell me, and you expect me to help you with your tax situation. So, or you're like, oh shoot, next thing you know, the IRS is sending you a letter saying you have this misplaced income, or you didn't put this income on your return. You want to make sure that whoever the tax professional that is assisting you, that you're going to, has a full picture of what's going on, because that's how they are able to best assist you. So you don't want to get into a situation where, you get audited, or you receive a letter, or the person can't even fully assist you, because there are things, tax strategies that would have actually been able to benefit you, but they don't even know your entire situation to be able to deploy those strategies. All right, so be open. All right, and also make sure that you are letting them know about your goals. All right, so I always ask my clients, do they think they're going to purchase a property within the next 2 years? And then I ask them what the loan amount is. That is just like, hey, do you intend on getting a huge loan, or going for a huge financing, or purchasing a home, or whatever? Because then that puts in my mind, hey, if they're a business owner, then that puts in my mind that, hey, we want to be mindful of the amount of write-offs you take. We want to be mindful of how much income we are working with at the end of the year, so that you are able to qualify without a hitch. All right. So, be mindful of that. Hey, Mr. Client, if you need to make sure that you have 110,000, dollar income, well, that's going to mean that you have a tax bill of $12,000 that you have to pay to the IRS. Oh, I don't have that money. Well, you can either get on an installment plan, or we can take those write-offs, and you may not be able to qualify, or this may not be the year that you want to, or next year's not maybe the year for you to purchase. So it's conversations like that, but you want to make sure that you are open with your goals, with your current situation, when it comes to these professionals, especially in your financial house, that are assisting you, because that's going to allow them to assist you, as efficiently as possible. All right, y'all. So to reiterate what I just went over, so I went over quite a bit on, things that you want to make sure that you keep in mind as you see these viral information, this stuff pop up, and you want to be like, oh, I'm going to do that. I'm going to tell my tax person that I'm going to pay $0 in taxes because I paid my child for my business. Well, the IRS saw that you just your child is 1 year old. You just purchased a G wagon. Like you spending out the Wu Hang. You went on 6 vacations. Things like that. So you want to make sure that we're still mindful when it comes to these things. All right, y'all. We're trying to stay out of trouble here. We won't be doing too much. All right, so we want to make sure that as we continue to see this information, this viral information, whatever, these triggers, these videos, tax advice, social media content all together, make sure that you are checking the credentials from the individual, whether they are a certified public accountant, CPA, or an enrolled agent, an EA, or even a tax attorney. All right, because trusting non-experts can be taxing, and it can lead to you being misinformed. Make sure that you are verifying their experience. Look for disclaimers, because they cannot tell you online, give you like a direct answer to your or solution to your tax and issue. Okay, no, because everyone's tax situation is different. All right, a lot of this information is oversimplified. but it really takes going over your information, bringing it all to the table to identify what is there, what needs to be done next. Cross-reference with the IRS guidelines. The IRS website has a ton of information on it. Tax codes get changed all the time. Something that I may have posted 5 months ago, may have been updated. So things are updated and changed all the time. So make sure that you are looking, cross-referencing, because things may not be as relevant as they were before, because tax codes do change. Watch for red flags. Watch for those people that are promoting the too good to be true deductions and credits and strategies, giving these unrealistic promises and secret loopholes and all that other stuff. All right. The next is make sure that you are seek some practical examples. We a lot of professionals, they'll give like an idea of a tax strategy, but it can be very vague. But it's because tax situations vary so much. All right. Question and make sure that you question the validity of the information. All right. Don't just take it word for word. Check with your professional. All right. Research the background of the person. How long have they been in the industry? Their speaking engagement, their blogs, whatever the case may be, their credentials. Ultimately, trust and check in, like I said, with a professional that you trust. All right. So thank you, y'all, for tuning in to another episode of Sipping Wealth Live. I will see you all tomorrow night at 6 p.m. We'll be live just for Sipping Wealth for the brunch that is coming up on December 14th. The Sipping Wealth brunch. Super excited for it. It is going to be great. You are going to love it. It is going to be at the Jesse DuPont Center this year. Y'all, I am excited for it. I don't know about y'all, but I am. So I'm excited for the brunch. Like I said, it is going to be on December 14th at the Jesse DuPont Center. Be sure to get your tickets on Eventbrite. It's going to be in Jacksonville, Florida, for those of you that are not local. Okay, I put the flyer on the screen. So make sure that you, like I said, get your tickets on the Eventbrite. It's going to be a time. So we have speakers in the real estate profession, investors. We have money managers. We'll have branch managers there, some banks and representing. We'll also be raising money and for Family Foundations, which is a local not-for-profit. So proceeds from the brunch will go directly to Family Foundations to help in their cause and assisting individuals become homeowners, low-income individuals. So make sure that you are grabbing your tickets. This week is the last week for Early Bird. Early Bird is coming to an end, and then we'll go in. But yes, y'all, if you do want to be a sponsor or are looking for ad placement, things like that, tap in. The options are also on the Eventbrite as well. All right, y'all. Thank you again for joining me for another episode of Sipping Wealth Live. I will see y'all next week and tomorrow for a different live. Have a great rest of your Tuesday, y'all. And let's wealth up.